The history of Israel is one of the most debated, documented, and emotional stories in the world, a tale that spans over 3,000 years, marked by faith, conflict, exile, and return. Our story begins in the ancient land of Canaan, a region located in what is today Israel, Palestine, Lebanon, and parts of Syria and Jordan. Round 1200 BCE, a group of tribes identified as the Hebrews began settling in this land. Their origins are traced back to Abraham, a patriarchal figure who is central not just to Judaism, but also to Christianity and Islam. According to the Hebrew Bible, these tribes united under the leadership of King Saul and later King David, who established Jerusalem as the capital of a united kingdom. His son, Solomon, constructed the first temple, which became the heart of Jewish religious life. After Solomon's death, the kingdom split into two, Israel in the north and Judah in the south. By 722 BCE, the northern kingdom of Israel was conquered by the Assyrians. Then in 586 BCE, the southern kingdom of Judah fell to the Babylonians. Jerusalem was destroyed, and the first temple was burned to the ground. The Jewish people were exiled to Babylon, an event that marked the beginning of the long Jewish diaspora. After decades in exile, some Jews returned and rebuilt the temple, now known as the Second Temple. But the land was never free of foreign influence. From the Persians to the Greeks and eventually the Romans, outside empires ruled over Judea. In 70 CE, a major Jewish revolt against Roman rule led to disaster. The Romans crushed the rebellion, destroyed the Second Temple, and expelled many Jews from the land. This began nearly 2,000 years of diaspora, as Jews scattered across Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East, despite persecution, pogroms, and forced conversions. They maintained their faith and traditions, always remembering Zion, their ancient homeland, for centuries. The idea of returning to the land of Israel lived on in prayers and religious texts. In the late 1800s, that ancient dream took political form in the Zionist movement, a movement founded by Theodor Herzl. Zionism advocated for the creation of a Jewish state in Palestine, which was then under Ottoman rule. At the time, the land was already inhabited by a majority Arab population as Jewish immigration increased. So did tensions between Jews and Arabs. After World War I, the Ottoman Empire collapsed, and Britain took control of Palestine under a League of Nations mandate in 1917. The Balfour Declaration expressed British support for a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. At the same time, it pledged to protect the rights of non-Jewish communities, a vague promise that planted the seeds of future conflict. In the 1920s and 30s, Jewish immigration grew rapidly, fueled by rising anti-Semitism in Europe. The Holocaust during World War II, in which 6 million Jews were murdered, gave new urgency to the need for a Jewish homeland. After the war, tensions in Palestine boiled over. The British, unable to manage the violence, handed the problem to the United Nations. In 1947, the UN proposed a partition plan to divide Palestine into separate Jewish and Arab states. The Jewish leadership accepted the plan, though not without reservations. The Arab leadership rejected it outright, viewing it as unfair and a violation of their right to self-determination. On May 14, 1948, David Ben-Gurion declared the independence of the State of Israel. The very next day, 5 Arab countries, Egypt, Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, and Iraq, invaded. The 1948 Arab-Israeli War ended with Israel not only surviving, but expanding its territory beyond the UN plan. Over 700,000 Palestinians fled or were expelled, creating a refugee crisis that continues to this day. Palestinians refer to this event as the Nakba, or catastrophe. In the years that followed, Israel absorbed hundreds of thousands of Jewish immigrants from Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East in 1956. Israel fought in the Suez Crisis alongside Britain and France in 1967 during the Six-Day War. Israel captured the Sinai Peninsula, West Bank, Gaza Strip, Golan Heights, and East Jerusalem. These territorial gains transformed Israel's position in the region, but placed millions of Palestinians under Israeli occupation. In 1973, the Yom Kippur War nearly brought Israel to the brink, as Egypt and Syria launched a surprise attack, although Israel pushed back and survived. The war triggered deep national reflection and ultimately diplomatic breakthroughs. In 1979, Egypt became the first Arab country to sign a peace treaty with Israel. Then in 1994, Jordan followed. The 1990s also saw the Oslo Accords, where Israeli and Palestinian leaders agreed on a framework for peace and a two-state solution. But violence, political assassination, mutual distrust eventually derailed the process. In the 2000s, Israel faced the Second Intifada, a wave of Palestinian uprisings and suicide bombings. In response, Israel constructed a controversial barrier around parts of the West Bank. In 2005, Israel withdrew from Gaza, but conflict there escalated with the rise of Hamas. Meanwhile, Israel's economy continued to grow, especially in the fields of tech, defense, and innovation. Tel Aviv became a global startup hub, while Jerusalem remained a city of both spiritual devotion and political division. In recent years, Israel normalized relations with several Arab nations through the Abraham Accords, including the UAE, Bahrain, and Morocco. These agreements marked a shift in regional diplomacy, even as the Israeli-Palestinian conflict remains unresolved. Today, Israel is a powerful, democratic, and deeply divided nation. It continues to face internal tensions, external threats, and international scrutiny, especially over its policies in the West Bank and Gaza. Its history is one of ancient faith and modern identity, of survival, innovation, and controversy. It's a story of a people returning to a homeland and the ongoing struggle to live securely and peacefully within it. Understanding Israel means understanding its layers, the ancient kingdom and the modern state, the trauma of exile and the triumph of return. It's a story that still shapes headlines and the future of the Middle East. Stay tuned for more in-depth journeys into the past that help explain the world today.